Okie dokie. So we're starting a live stream this afternoon. Today we're going to be doing a mystery box opening number 2. And I'm going to wait a few minutes before I get started with that. Hopefully a few people will trickle in. Obviously this is going to be uploaded on to my YouTube channel so that people can watch it whenever they get ready. Hopefully you saw mystery box opening number 1, where I opened one of my fantastic Christmas presents. That was my AR Gold trigger that I'm going to run in my 3-gun rifle this coming year. And looks like we got 8 people now. Thank you all for joining me. Let me know who you are by just posting a comment over in the chat. And if there's any problem with the audio or the video, please let me know. I'm using my microphone over here, and sometimes I've noticed that I sound like a chipmunk when I use it. So if I sound like a chipmunk, please let me know. But I hope you all had a great holiday. Santa was good to me this year. So today we're going to find out just how good he was. Got a nice box back here behind me. As you can see, I'm in a hotel room. I'm doing some business this past week and this week. So I had something shipped up here to me. And this was the kind that I had to pick up at the FFL. So that should give you a big tip as to what's in this box behind me. Big thanks to a couple of my sponsors and some of the people that I've had a great relationship with over the past probably by now 3 to 4 years. That would be Strongside Tactical and Clayton Easley. He has been awesome through this whole process, and this box is directly because of him. And also Lou Graves, Stretch Precision, and Further Fuel, fantastic friend of mine. Really can't say thanks enough for everything that both of those guys do for me. So let's get into this box a little bit. First we'll start out with the reason why I had to go to the FFL. So this should be a big tip-off. Obviously, there is not a handgun or a shotgun in this box. Really high-quality piece, or maybe 2, from Wilson Combat. So I do have one Wilson Combat product so far. That would be the barrel in my Glock 34. It's a stainless steel barrel that I had titanium nitride coated. I shot it this past year, and it's fantastic. So anything from Wilson Combat, thumbs up. This is what we got here. This is an upper and lower receiver set. This is their billet set. As you notice, it's a little bit different than your typical mil spec lower receiver. Obviously, the trigger guard, as you can see, is built in. It looks really awesome. If you've ever built a lower receiver before, you know that putting this bad boy in is probably the most aggravating part of building a lower. So having one that's built in and actually really, really sturdy, to me, is going to be a plus. And it's also has the delete of the forward assist. When you're shooting 3-gun, you really don't need that. It just takes up weight. So it makes the side here a little bit slicker and smoother, a little bit out of your way if you're manipulating the rifle. So I like that as well. Picatinny rail on top. And let's see what other little cool thing. The engraving and the serial number actually is here on this side of the receiver. That's a little bit different. Usually, your roll mark, I have to get in this light where you can see it. The roll mark here usually on the left side of the lower receiver. Wilson Combat logo. Now, I don't know how good the light is in this room. Obviously, like I said, I'm not at home, but this is not black. The coolest thing about this upper and lower receiver is the color on it. You can get these Wilson Combat combination billet upper and lowers in a couple of different, maybe 5 different colors: black, gray. There's like a burnt bronze color, maybe a FDE. This is a custom color. Clayton had this Cerakoted for me, and it's a little bit of a variation of midnight bronze. Doesn't have a name yet. It's going to be a custom color that you can only get from Strongside Tactical. And I'm going to be building this for my 2016 3-gun rifle. You have no idea how excited I am about using these parts. And I just like building guns anyway. I mean, I've made a few videos, had a couple of series on, you know, how to build a lower, how to build an upper. We've done 223s, we've done 300 blackouts. But anytime I get a new piece like this and I know that I'm building something from scratch, every piece, I mean, you know, I got to put the safety in, I got to put the receiver extension on, I got to put the mag release and the bolt catch in, use all those little springs and detents. That stuff is fun to me. Like, I really love doing that stuff. So this is the kind of piece that, in my opinion, is better than your mil spec uppers and lowers. You pay more for these, but that's because there's a lot more engineering and tooling that goes into making one of these. You know, you're going to spend several more $100s for an upper and lower matched set like this from somebody like Wilson Combat. There's lots of good, high quality receiver sets on the market, but this is one that I was particularly interested in. I've never had a billet set before. All of my other lowers on all my rifles are just forged. They work great. A lower is a lower is a lower. But when you step into sort of this category of item, you are paying for what you get. And this is just a step above, I guess, what you want to call a mil-spec rifle. Certainly above commercial grade. But take a look at these. You know, if you're ever interested in really paying for a boutique brand or a high dollar brand, upper and lower, you definitely should take a look at these. The Cerakote on it is fantastic. Wilson Combat's Cerakote, or whatever the coat is that they provide, is absolutely very good as well. I actually thought about going with the gray on this one, but once Clayton showed me this color, I was like, no, that's what I want. So we're going to do a project with this year. I haven't really named the project yet, but the project will be for my 3-gun rifle for this upcoming 3-gun season. Even though down here in Georgia, we don't really have a season. I mean, we shoot all year long. Like on Christmas Day, it was 88 degrees down here. And then the past week, it's just been pouring rain every day. But, you know, we don't shut down for the winter. There's not snow on the ground. We shoot all year long. So for me to say 3-gun season is a little bit of a misnomer, I guess. Again, thank you all for joining me. It looks like we got 18 or 19 folks watching right now. Hopefully it sounds right and looks okay for you. Let me know over there in the chat if you can see me, if you can hear me, if everything seems to be going well. And if you got any questions about any of these things, we got a lot more parts back here in this box. I honestly don't even know what's in this box. That's part of the mystery box appeal of this. But if you got any questions, just let me know right over there in the chat. I'll do my best to answer it right here in the video. And I will say that this is the first time I've done this live stream like this. So I'm learning how to use this program. This is Google Hangouts. I'm not very good at it. So you guys might be typing something there, then I can't see it. I don't know. But anyway, let's get on to this box. These are more parts that are going to be included in this rifle, but I honestly don't know what's in there yet. So I'm a little excited about it as well. The box is open. I didn't open it. At the shop, they had to cut it open to make sure that there wasn't any firearms, handguns, or anything in there. Just make sure that it was just parts. So I haven't actually looked in here yet, even though the box is open. All right, right here on top, a little bit different than what I expected. So I was going to go with the BCM Mod 3 pistol grip on this rifle. I honestly did not even know that Wilson Combat, I guess, has a version of this. I don't know how well you can see, but there's a Wilson Combat logo on this pistol grip. So big fan of BCM products. I guess you can see here on my shirt. I'm actually wearing a BCM shirt today. I really like the Mod 3 pistol grip. I probably like it a little bit better than the Magpul Mo Plus that I've been using on my other rifle. So I had planned on going the BCM pistol grip on this rifle anyway. What do you know? There's one with the Wilson Combat logo on it. So I don't know if they collaborated somehow or if it's really just like a regular Mod 3 pistol grip, but this will definitely be going on there. And I'm I'm not going to crack it open right now, but it looks like it has sort of a stippled grip on it. You know, I'm a big fan of stippling, so hopefully that should be quite comfortable. Let's see here. This looks like the standard pistol grip. I guess I can use the screw, but I'm not going to need a standard pistol grip, so we'll put that in the surplus box. Okay, let's see what this. Okay, perfect. We have a JP bolt. So I needed a new bolt carrier group and a new bolt, and this is the JP enhanced bolt. This is the same bolt that I already run in my 3-gun rifle. It has always performed quite well. It's never let me down. So really excited about getting another one of these guys. Absolutely bulletproof, not going to fail on you. Not going to have to worry about this extractor breaking or having any trouble during a match. This baby will work. Let's see. Oh, okay. So this is a new company that Clayton just turned me on. So there's a new company called V7. They make really good small parts for ARs, and all the lower parts kit and a lot of the other random small parts on the rifle, I'm going to use in these V7 parts. Clayton has a bunch of them available on the Strong Side Tactical website. First off, looks like we have a V7 titanium firing pin. That will look good and work well in the bolt carrier group. I'm assuming there's a bolt carrier group in here, so I will definitely show you what that is because it's my favorite. Here we have a V7 Weapon Systems improved cam pin. So another piece for the bolt carrier group. And then this, I'm not sure what this is. This is from K&S Precision, and it says it's a perma-pin firing pin retainer. So I guess this is like the little clip that you usually put through the side of the bolt carrier group to keep the firing pin in. But I did not know that K&S makes these. So well, I'll tell you what I do like about it. It has a flat head on it. Usually, like on my other bolt carrier group, the firing pin retaining pin sort of sticks out a little bit because it's more of a C shape. It looks to me like this one's gonna fit up in the bolt carrier group a little bit flatter so that you don't hit it whenever you're cleaning it or whatever. I mean, it doesn't like hit the inside of your upper receiver, doesn't scratch it up or anything. It's out of the way, but you can, you know, see it because it's sticking out. So this looks like it's going to be more flush. And that's from K&S. Oh man, there's a lot of stuff in here. Okay, a lot more small parts. These look like more V7 parts. This is a castle nut. So that's a pretty standard part. Also looks like there's a QD end plate adapter. Those are real popular with a lot of people. You know, Noveski and Rainier Arms. I think those are a couple of ones that I've used before. I honestly now don't really use a sling that much, hardly if ever on a 3-gun rifle. I did use one at Fort Benning because we had a couple stages where we had to sling our rifle, but I usually don't put it on the castle nut because that's more of a single point kind of attachment point. I usually put mine on the back of the stock, but it's always nice to have one of those. And if you remember on my 3-gun rifle that I've always shot with the Viltor upper and lower, these are built into the lower receiver. So having one of these on the rifle is always a good thing. And this is kind of awesome though. It's neat to see all of your lower receiver parts sort of individually packaged because most lower receiver parts kits just kind of come and they're dumped into a box and you got to figure out what everything is. But these are like individually labeled and everything, so that's kind of cool. Another V7 part here. This is the mag release. Pretty standard part, but this one looks like it's machined pretty well. There is a the spring in there, so I don't want to lose it. I'm not going to take it out. But again, these parts look like they're individually machined and a lot better quality than your typical kind of mil spec or commercial lower parts kit. Let me just go ahead and take all this stuff out. These look like the takedown pins. Yeah, V7 takedown pins. This looks like the retaining pin for the buffer extension tube, or the buffer inside the extension tube. Yeah, that's exactly what that is. I don't know how well you can see that, but it comes with a spring as well. Oh yeah, this is what I want here. So I'm a bit of a snob with safety selectors. I've gotten to where pretty much all my rifles have ambidextrous safety selectors, and I like the 60-degree ones, or the 40, the short throw ones, 45 degrees, 60 degrees, whatever. Different companies have like different degrees. I've had a Battle Arms 45-degree safety on my 3-gun rifle, and I think it's faster. When you're starting a stage, have your thumb on it, disengage the safety, get up there and shoot your first shot. It's a fraction of a second quicker. And same thing when you're going to dump it, throw the rifle back on safety. So I'm a big proponent of short throw safeties in your 3-gun rifle. As long as you understand how it works, get it back on, make sure you don't disqualify yourself or do something unsafe. So this looks like one of those. Clayton actually told me that this one I think is reversible. You can either make it like a 90-degree safety, or a is it 50 or 60 degrees or something. I don't know if it doesn't actually say on here. I'll have to look into that, but regardless, it's short throw and it's ambidextrous and looks really cool. It's knurled, so it's going to be easy to get good traction on it with your thumb or your index finger. There's a grip screw, same thing. I guess I had one in the mil spec pistol grip. Actually, okay, I got 2 safeties. I guess the arms on this one is a little bit different. It's more of a sort of a mil spec safety feel, just with the ridges in it. It doesn't have any cutouts or knurled edges or anything. So I guess I get to pick which one I want. That's a little bit closer to what I've been used to using. Oh, this is the most fun part of putting together an upper receiver. The ejection port door. Humongous pain in the behind. This little spring right here, you'll probably spend a good 20-30 minutes trying to get this thing on right, and you're going to shoot it across the garage half a dozen times before you get it on. And then that's the ejection port door. So mostly small parts there to put together this upper and lower receiver, and there's still a lot of junk in this box, so I have no idea what else this could all be. Okay, so some of these, this is definitely not a part that goes in a lower receiver. This looks like offset, like 45 or 90-degree offset iron sights, and I think I've actually seen these before. I guess you say this. These are okay. These are the 0 Bravo. Yeah, I've heard of these, and I guess they're called RIOs, rapid engagement offset sights. I've used the Barry Duke sights before, and they work really well, and I actually went away from them. Now I just use the 1-to-4 scope, and I turn it with the throw lever. So yeah, maybe I'm going to give these a try this year and see how I like them. I can't really see. I guess there's not like a front sight post or anything in them. Maybe they're just apertures that you look through. I don't know. I'm not really sure how these work yet. I'm going to have to take them out and look at them and read the instructions and see, what kind of sight picture you're supposed to get with them. Because they definitely interest me. If you're good with offset sights and you can leave your scope like at 4 or 6 power, it's definitely faster. This is a 0 Bravo hand stop. I've always used hand stops. I don't know why I don't really like vertical foregrips. When on my first AR-15, I used one of those Magpul AFGs. It's kind of like the 45-degree, but I eventually went away from that. So I've got to where I use hand stops now. I don't know if Clayton knew that or if he just wanted me to try this out, but it looks like it's for a key mod. It's got a key mod attachment there on the top. But I will definitely try this out for sure. And if it doesn't end up on my 3-gun rifle, it may end up on my Mark 18 or like maybe my BCM rifle, because I definitely am a big fan of hand stops. I just like something right out there that I can rest against the back part of my hand, and it gives me an index point for where I want to always get my front hand when I'm shooting. You might not know this or not, but me and my best buddy Jared actually had this conversation about getting your hand out there in the same position every time, because how much your gun recoils and which way it deviates, either up, down, right, or left, or can sometimes really be affected by where you have your hand out there. So if you're getting it in the same spot every time, it's going to give you a more repeatable recoil pattern. You know, people spend a lot of money on muzzle brakes and lightweight carriers and all these things to try to flatten their rifle out. And probably one of the things that they neglect or don't know they really need to pay attention to is technique. Really getting the rifle here in the shoulder, really getting that hand out there in the same spot every time. So having an index point, you know, like a hand stop or maybe a rail cover, that's what I'm using now. I've got key mod rail covers on mine, so I know that when I throw my hand out there, I put it on that rail cover. It's exactly where it's supposed to be. Okay, big parts are the only thing left here. I told you I knew this was going to be in here. This is the JP aluminum lightweight carrier, or LMOS carrier. I've been using this for, or one like this, for like the past year and a half. If you're really going to tune your gas system on your AR-15 competition rifle, you pretty much got to run a low mass carrier and adjustable gas. Now you can have a really flat shooting rifle without all that stuff, but if you really want to customize it and fit it to you, that's basically what you got to do. You got to spend the money. And I wanted to get this open. This box is really hard to open. This is going to be loud, so I apologize. There it is. Okay, now let's see. This is not the same finish that I have on the other one. So okay, this one's stainless. That's pretty cool. I think I have the QPQ finish on my other one. But same weight and everything. Looks like the carrier key is either melanited or something. The inside is stainless because you can see that it's black there. Staked appropriately, it looks like. These things weigh like, I think, 6 ounces. Using my bolt back there, you know, I'll put it together, including the rest of those parts, the cam key and all that stuff. But you can never have enough of these. In fact, when I went to shoot the Fort Benning match, I had to just take a regular old full mass mil-spec bolt carrier as a backup because I only have one low mass. Well, now I have 2, including this one, but I only had one low mass carrier. So if it had took a dump on me or something, you know, I had an extra bolt and bolt carrier to get me through the match. Now, okay, last thing in the box. Looks like I got 3 of these, and I get to choose, I guess, which one I'm gonna put on the rifle. These are buffer extensions made by V7, and actually I cheated a little bit, and I already know a little bit about these. So V7 makes sort of a standard weight mil-spec buffer tube. These are in carbine length. I don't know if they make a rifle length one, but I've always used carbine length buffer systems on my rifles. So this is absolutely what I would use anyway. The stocks that I use don't need rifle length buffer system. So this is the standard weight sort of mil-spec one. And let me see if this is the black one, or I don't want to just give this away because it's, well, it's taped up. Doggone it. One of these is Cerakoted, so I want to find that one and show it. So this is the other. I bet, yeah, this has got to be the one that's Cerakoted because the tape's open. Yeah, so hopefully you can see this. The light is not great in this room, but this one is Cerakoted the same almost midnight bronze color that the upper and lower was. So without giving away too many details of my project build, it's going to center around this color, this special color that doesn't have a name yet, on the upper and lower receiver, and buffer tube here, and all the other furniture is going to be black. So I also have a pretty special barrel that's going to go in this one. I don't have it with me because it's at my house in the garage. That was the first piece that I had for this build. But I can promise you, you probably know what kind of barrels I like for my 3-gun rifles. And this one that I'm going to be using this coming year is certainly no different. And it's something that's going to be a little bit new for this year. So I'm not going to give away any secrets yet, but there are going to be some new variations of things that you may see in the barrels that I like. Stretch 16. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I've never had a Cerakoted buffer tube before, but it matches the upper and lower. I would get it back out, but now I've put a lot of parts on top of it. But let me explain this last one to you. You might be asking, well, why do you have a third buffer tube? This is what they call their heavy buffer tube. And, you know, why would you want a heavier part on your rifle when you're trying to build a rifle that's as light as possible? Well, here's why. My 3-gun rifle has always been pretty well balanced because I use a JP silent capture spring as my buffer spring, and it's really heavy. It's much heavier than a standard buffer and a spring. And what that does is it puts the weight back toward me, you know, in the stock in the back of the rifle, and sort of balances out with the barrel on the front end. And if you use a key mod rail, you know, they're really light. My rifle weighs about, fully loaded with the scope, about 7 3/4 pounds, and everything balances pretty well. Well, this year I'm not going to use the silent capture spring in that rifle. I'm actually going to use an ultra low weight buffer system from TACCOM. So I'm going to be taking some of the weight out of the back of the rifle, and that's counterproductive. You don't necessarily want to do that. That's where this comes in. So this is their heavy buffer tube, and it weighs quite a bit more than the one I just showed you. And if I were at home, I have like a kitchen scale. I could actually tell you how much this weighs. Right now I don't, but when I highlight these parts, I certainly will weigh them and show you how much they weigh. So there's a good chance that I may be using this part on the rifle if I, you know, go with the low mass buffer system back here. But it'll be Cerakoted. This is the black one. So I think that is all the parts. So just to summarize, it looks like we've pretty much got all the parts to our 3-gun rifle for this year. What I didn't show you here is I know at least probably 4 parts. Our handguard system, we'll be going with something I've already got. It's Noveske NSR, probably my favorite handguard and rail system. It was the first key mod rail system on the market. The guy who invented it now works at BCM, so that's why the BCM KMR is so popular now. But the NSR was first, and you know, it's just timeless. It does a good job. It's fairly light, and it's very sturdy. And the main reason I'm using it is, 1, I've already got one, and 2, the inside diameter is big enough to fit my low profile adjustable gas block. That'll be a SLR Sentry 7. I've used those on a ton of my rifles. They work really well, and I really like them, so that's why I'm using that. Next is the barrel I sort of hinted at before. You'll see that one very soon. And then also muzzle brake. Going to go back again with the Rise Armament RA701 this year. I used it last 2 months of the 3-gun year this past year and was very impressed with it. Hopefully you've seen, I had a full video review of the RA701 on the Strong Side Tactical YouTube channel. You probably know that I do all those videos as well. So check out Strong Side Tactical YouTube channel for some of those other parts that I didn't open today. Then a scope. We're still working on our scope for next year. I've been using a Trijicon TR24 in a LaRue mount. Probably be using again the LaRue mount. They just work, and I've got a couple of them, so I'm not going to be spending any more money on anything else this year. But I will be using a different scope this year. Hadn't quite got that yet. I'm still trying to decide between two different scopes. Let me know in the comments if you would pick between a Vortex Razor HD 1:6 with a JM1 reticle or a Collis K16i with the SM1 reticle. If you don't know anything about those two scopes, they are upper end 3-gun scopes or practical use scopes with a 6-power high end, really, really good glass. A little bit of a price difference in them. Let me know what would be your preference. So I think those are all the parts. This was a really good day. This was a really good opening. I was expecting this box. I knew about the upper and lower. I did not know about all these other parts. So some very nice surprises there. And it looks like I'm going to have a fun time in the next month or so filming some videos of building this rifle. Again, I just want to show you once again, this is really the crown jewel of today's video. This is the Wilson Combat billet upper and lower receiver set. This one has been Cerakoted, a special color which is very similar to Midnight Bronze. You can Google that if you want to see kind of what it looks like. This lamp that's giving me light here for this video is awful. But once I film the videos on putting all the parts and installing this, you guys, I will definitely be taking some high quality footage of putting this together, and you'll really see what color this is. Again, I've never had an upper and lower that's this high quality, so I don't know. I'm a little nervous about putting it together. I don't want to scratch it up or mess it up. You know, it's so pretty. It's like the other day, Home Alone was on TV. We were watching my kids. You know, the guy from Home Alone, like he didn't wear his rollerblades outside because he didn't want to mess them up, and then before you know it, he outgrew them. It's kind of how I'm about having nice parts like this. Like I don't want to scratch them up, you know. So, but I don't know. I'm really excited to put this together. This is gonna be a really nice build. You get to the point with ARs that like you got a few mil-spec rifles and maybe you got an SBR, maybe you got a 3-gun rifle with a few different parts on it, but you kind of want to take it to the next level and like get a Knights SR15 or maybe a Noveske Infidel or an Afghan or something, or a Recce. Like you just want to have like a $2,000 AR-15. This is the kind of part. That's what we're talking about here. These are top shelf parts. So geez, thank you guys for the 15 or 20 of you that have been joining me in today for this video. I'm still learning this whole live stream thing. I know I'm certainly not very good at it, but I'm learning the technology. And I can always, go back later on and edit these videos when they go up on YouTube. So thanks for joining me. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hopefully you should have gotten a notification when I started streaming that said that I was live. All of my parts for, the near future and the upcoming year, 2016, I got some exciting things all year long. Anytime something comes in the mail, we're going to be doing this right here, mystery box opening, so you guys can see the kind of parts that I'm interested in, kind of stuff that I'm putting in my Glocks or in my Benelli shotgun or any of the other rifles that I just shoot for fun. It's always fun to get something in the mail from a really awesome company, some really awesome gun parts, something that you saved up a while for, and the day you bought it, like you were so excited. So hopefully that's, how you guys feel when you get something in the mail, certainly how I feel. And I like to share that kind of stuff with all my subscribers on YouTube. So recently hit 10,000. I want to thank you all. I wouldn't do this stuff if you guys didn't enjoy it, because I really like interacting with all of you. So thanks for joining me. This was mystery box opening or unboxing, whatever you want to call it, number 2. I do have a couple of things sitting at home waiting on me, so you can expect another one of these videos to come up probably within the next week at least. And I don't know exactly what those will be pertaining to. Probably rifle parts, but I don't know for sure. I've been out of town for a little over a week, so I can't quite remember what was in transit in the mail before I left. So Happy New Year to everybody. 2016 is going to be a big year for the channel. I will be having a video coming up where I talk about my plan for this year, my goals for this year, and a couple of new series that you guys can expect. This is primarily one of them right here. Mystery box opening will be a new series for 2016. So please like the video for me if you made it all the way through. And thanks for joining me. I still got to get this chat thing figured out. Let's see. I don't know if anybody can even see that or if I'm even doing this the right way. For all I know, you guys could have been typing stuff the whole time and maybe I just didn't see it. But it says right here on my computer screen that that's the chat, and I'm the only one who looks like has typed anything. But anyway, we'll get it figured out. This is a learning process. Thank you for joining me. This is Back Again. Everybody be safe when you go out and shoot. Have a good time doing it. Take your family out there. Take a new shooter out there and get them into 3-gun. And then tell them about my series, 3-Gun Life, where they'll learn everything they need to know about getting into the game. We'll see you next time. Be safe again. This is Mac, and I'm out.